All right. So, Fantastic Four First Steps is on Disney Plus, and that means it is time for my review of it. Yay! So, if you haven't seen any of my Marvel movie reviews, here's how it is going to work. First, I'm going to go into my non-spoiler thoughts, so that way if you haven't seen Fantastic Four First Steps yet, you can hear what I thought without getting spoiled. And then I'm going to go into plot points, and for that, there will be spoilers. So, first, no spoilers, then spoilers. Let's get to it. Fantastic Four First Steps follows Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben as they try to save their world from being destroyed, and balancing their lives as heroes and as a family. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. It's hard to describe what these movies are about without actually like spoiling anything. So that's what we get. Literally nothing. It for the first time, genuinely, in what feels like forever, there is nothing to watch beforehand. No homework whatsoever. It's like the best day of school ever. There's no homework. So like when I think about like other MCU projects, like they may not have had like necessary viewing. But there was always sort of that watch Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame because it's referenced, it ties back, do that. Or there was like other projects that featured characters from that movie or that series or whatever. You didn't necessarily have to watch them, but you understand the characters better if you did. That type of thing. But Fantastic Four First Steps feels like a brand new entry to the lineup, to the point where literally Infinity War and Endgame aren't even necessary viewing. Like, what? This is weird. I don't have to watch Infinity War or Endgame to watch Fantastic Four The First Steps? Fantastic. Great. No homework whatsoever. That being said, there are other Fantastic Four projects that came before Fantastic Four First Steps. There's the Fantastic Four movies from the 2000s, I believe. Then there's the animated series from the 90s, and then, like, apparently Fantastic Four World's Greatest Heroes animated series from, like, 2006. I didn't even know this existed. So there is way to see more of these characters, even though they're not the same characters as they are in this movie, but, like, the general gist of the characters is the same. So if you find yourself enjoying these characters, there's options for you to see more of them, just not within this context, if that makes any sense. Yeah, but like I said, it doesn't tie into anything. It doesn't tie into anything. There's nothing that you have to watch. So this is weird. I don't think I've ever had a review for a movie or a Disney Plus series within the Marvel Universe that I have done so far in terms of reviewing where there wasn't some sort of necessary viewing. My brain is fritzing. I don't know what to do anymore. But yeah. No homework, guys. No homework. Just jump right into this movie and have fun. I really honestly enjoyed this movie. But, like, I don't think it's necessarily, like, one of my favorite movies. Like, it's up there, I guess, but, like, it's not at the bottom of the list. And I wouldn't even say it's, like, low mid. If anything, it's, like, the higher mid or the top tier. I don't know necessarily where I would put it. Probably higher mid at this point. It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. I enjoyed it. There's not much else to say about that. I think it was an excellent first outing for the Fantastic Four within the MCU. Have to specify that because there is previous Fantastic Four projects that I talked about before. But within the MCU canon, within the Marvel Studios MCU canon, at least I feel like it is. I might be spewing random nonsense because it might not actually be, but I think it is. It's a great first outing for, the Fantastic Four, at least in this go around. I think the movie did a good job of introducing the audience to these characters and what their whole situation is. How did they get their powers? How do they all know each other? That type of thing. Like, I think the movie did a pretty good job of, giving us that information in a way that felt organic, which sometimes doesn't happen. You either don't get the information, or it's like, Reed Richards, this is his power. Sue Storm, this is her power. And it's like, okay, I don't need like an exposition dump. But, if you find a fun, creative way to do it, I'm all for it. And I think that this movie found a way to do it in a fun, creative way, and I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed these characters' dynamics with each other. It really felt like they had known each other for a long period of time, even though it's like brand new cast, brand new movie. And I'm like, I like that. Like, it's kind of hard to get that chemistry in there. But I genuinely believe that they were a fun little family. Yeah. So now I'm going to be diving into plot points. There will be spoilers. If you have not seen Fantastic Four First Steps, go watch it. Then come back here. Or risk getting spoiled. You have been warned. Okay, so normally I don't talk about the intro unless there's something to note because it's usually the same. You get the big Marvel music and you get the big montage of scenes from the MCU. It's fun. I love it. But it's a lot of the same. Until we get to Fantastic Four First Steps. Because it was not the Marvel intro music. It was not the montage of MCU moments. It was very simple. Blue and white. Squigglies everywhere. Eventually creating the Marvel Studios logo, but like not in typical block Marvel Studios way, but rather fun and funky like the Fantastic Four are. Yeah, so like almost right out of the gate in terms of like watching the intro, it's like, okay, I'm watching something different here. There is something different happening here, and I am here for it. So I said this before in other videos, in other review videos. I said it in the non-spoiler thoughts. I love when they find creative ways to essentially info dump on us. Like, here's your quick cap. Here's how things are. Here's where we are in the timeline of things. Proceed. I really loved the way that this movie did it. If you're not familiar with the Fantastic Four, here's a fun little news segment celebrating 4 years of the Fantastic Four. Giving us essentially all the info and the flashbacks that we needed to understand how they got their powers, how they all know each other, how they all connect, and essentially where they are in the timeline. Yeah, they've been a team essentially for like 4 years. Love that. Okay. I actually kind of like Galactus. I felt like he felt like a very threatening villain. A lot of times Marvel is pretty good at their threatening villains. And then sometimes you end up with Dreykov. I said it. I said it. But I really like Galactus. He seemed very threatening, you know? I can devour planets. And it's like, okay. But, like, can we not? But I also really like the look of Galactus. And I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion or not. I haven't really snooped around online for other people's opinions on things. But I really like the look of him. Like, the glowing purple eyes, like, really stand out against the black, almost, like, shadow-like coloring of Galactus himself. Yeah, I really like the look of Galactus. And I really like that he felt like a threatening villain. Alright, our second villain, antagonist, villain turned hero, hero turned villain turned hero. I don't know. However you want to classify Silver Surfer. We got Silver Surfer. And I have to say that I enjoyed Silver Surfer enough. Like, we're not going to put Silver Surfer top tier anywhere in terms of villains or in terms of heroes or in terms of anti-heroes, whatever. Silver Surfer's not going to be top tier. But I enjoyed Silver Surfer enough. I enjoyed that we got the backstory, you know, seeing her sacrifice herself for her whole planet. I know that's the whole deal because I went digging a little bit. I went down a rabbit hole. Still don't know all the lore, guys, but I know that that's the deal. So I really like that we got to see that, but also like when she's like hearing the pain of the destroyed planets, like, you know, the ones that she picked out for Galactus to devour. I really enjoyed that moment because like it showed like a bit of humanity in there because like Silver Surfer was kind of nutso, trying to get little baby Franklin and everything like that, but you know, getting to see that little bit of humanity in there, it's like, okay, we like this. You know, and in the end, she did the right thing by pushing Galactus through the portal so that Johnny wouldn't have to, and yeah, I mean, I enjoyed this character enough. I don't necessarily think I need to ever see Silver Surfer again, but enjoyable character. You know, we got some depth at the end, so I'm here for it. Alright, on to the big plot. The Earth 828. That's where the Fantastic Four are. You know, they're the main heroes. Visited by our lovely friend Silver Surfer. And she basically warns them their planet is marked for death and Galactus is coming to eat them. Okay. Love that. Love that for us. I have to say, I really love the stakes in this movie. Like, on the one hand, obviously, they weren't going to have Galactus win. Like, we weren't going to lose our heroes in their first MCU outing. Like, I knew that. In my heart, I knew that. But, on the other hand, I felt like they weren't safe. Like, I felt like they weren't safe. Like, when Johnny thought he had to, like, sacrifice himself to push Galactus through the portal, like, I had a moment where I was like, how are we going to stop this? How are we going to save Johnny? We're not losing Johnny. We're like, what's happening? Like, are we going to lose him? Like, are we? And I'm like, ah! And then, like, even, like, with Baby Franklin, when he's with Galactus and, you know, Galactus is getting sucked through the portal, and I'm just thinking, like, don't you dare take that baby away. And then, of course, Reed Richards comes in and all that. But I was like, don't you dare take that little baby away. What the heck? We saved this baby for a reason. Like, and then, like, the big one for me was Sue laying on the ground, like, everything's good. We won. Sue's on the ground. And she's dead. Like, dead. Reed Richards is trying to revive Sue, and it's like, what? And then it's like, they're all just like, he stops the CPR, everyone's crying, and I'm just like, there is no way we just lost Sue. Like, what? And I was like, but, like, what? And, like, for some reason, in my head, and I'm not saying that because these movies are similar, because I genuinely hated this movie, I was thinking of Thor: Love and Thunder. I know. Weird, right? But spoiler alert for that movie. They introduced Mighty Thor, Gore the God Butcher, all that fun stuff, and promptly eliminated both of them by the end of the movie. Both of them. Not one. Both. And I was like, there was so much potential with these characters, and it's like, the movie just took it away. And it made Thor: Love and Thunder feel very inconsequential for the rest of the MCU. It's like, why did we introduce these fascinating concepts to not do anything with them? So, like, in my head, I was sitting there going, okay. Are we doing that with Fantastic Four First Steps? Are we, like, eliminating some of the characters? Like, we're not eliminating any of the Fantastic Four, are we? Like, what is happening? But the whole time I'm sitting there like, is anybody actually safe? And like I said, they held on with Sue for so long. Like, Johnny and Franklin, they were saved pretty instantaneously. But Sue, it was like, she went dead. And I was like, okay, there's a possibility that they just introduced us to the Fantastic Four to promptly then wipe at least one of them out completely. And, you know, that didn't happen. You know, Silver Surfer saved Johnny by pushing Galactus through instead. Reed grabbed baby Franklin just in the nick of time, literally before he almost got sucked into the portal. And baby Franklin done reviving his whole dead mom. That is a super-powered baby. Reed just puts him on. And I was like, okay, if anything, Franklin's going to be the one that brings her back. But I thought it was going to be like, you know, she was like out of it and then she heard like his crying. And I'm like, that wasn't happening. And it's like, he just puts little Franklin on her chest. And it's like, all of a sudden, it's like, we're waking up. And I'm like, this baby revived his dead mama. What is happening? So, speaking of the little superpowered baby, he was the key to everything in this movie. Literally. He was the key to everything in this movie. So, a little bit of fun recap for little baby. Sue, Reed Richards, they've been trying for 2 years to have a baby. Finally happens. Yay, happy for them. But uh-oh. Planet's marked for death. Let's go to space, negotiate with Galactus. Maybe he'll spare our world. Oh yeah, he will. For a price. Baby Franklin. Baby Franklin has enough power for Galactus to finally be able to rest. And apparently that's all he wants to do. He just wants to be like Thanos and rest. So, simple. Hand baby to giant planet eating god? Question mark. And save your planet. Makes sense. Let's go. But it's a struggle because no parent wants to give up their child, especially a child that they were trying so hard for. But like as heroes, isn't it kind of your job to save the people of Earth 828 that are counting on you? Not at the expense of their child, though. And I really love Sue's speech about how she won't sacrifice her son for the planet, but she won't sacrifice the planet for her son. So, the plan becomes, move the whole planet. Just move a planet. Why not? nothing better to do. Let's do that. Um, it got ridiculous, but I was here for it. Like, it was a fun sequence watching, like, you know, all the cities around the world powering up their bridges, and it's like, okay, yeah, we're good, we're go, all right. And then, like, we're so close to the end, and Silver Surfer comes back, wrecking all the bridges! We're not moving the planet after all. Yeah. I almost wanted to see it happen, though. Yeah, and then Baby Franklin, again, is the key to everything. He's the bait. We get Galactus in the New York Bridge, send him far away to the corner of the universe without his ship, and Baby Franklin is the bait. Yay. Baby Franklin. And it's fine, everybody comes out of this alive, except for maybe Galactus and Silver Surfer, I don't know, but they're somewhere. Yeah, it was fun. Alright, so it seems weird to bring up the Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts have nothing to do with Fantastic Four, right? But they do. Because in the Thunderbolts post-credits scene, by the way, spoiler alert for anything, it had the Fantastic Four ship just show up. Like, Yelena's like, Space Crisis, Fantastic Four ship shows up, and it's like, oh, this is gonna mean something. Apparently, all it means is that Fantastic Four First Steps is the next movie. Because nothing from that post-credit scene was of any assistance. It literally meant nothing. So yeah. I'm confused as to why it existed other than to let us know that Fantastic Four was the next movie. And I mean, yeah, I think we figured that out. Whatever. But speaking of post-credit scenes, there are 3 things in terms of the post-credit scenes for this movie that I want to talk about. So we're going to start with the last post-credit scene. I know it feels weird to go and work backwards, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to work backwards. So the last post-credit scene, pretty inconsequential unless, like, I missed some hidden foreshadowing in it, which, let's be real, I probably did. But it's a small segment of the animated series. Now, I'm assuming it's the actual animated series that actually exists. And that they didn't create a whole animated sequence for the post-credits scene. I could be wrong, and if I am, let me know, but I feel like it's from the Fantastic Four animated series. But that's it. Just little bit of the animated series. Okay. Is there a foreshadowing clue that I missed? Because that would make more sense than just plopping it in there. I mean, yeah. I'm not well versed in the, like, deep Marvel lore. So there's probably something in that post-credit scene that I missed in terms of, like, foreshadowing or explaining or something, and I missed it. I'm determined that that's exactly what it is because I don't understand why this was included otherwise. But I also can't figure out what it's supposed to be foreshadowing. So, who knows? Now we're going to go to the first post-credit scene, mid-credit scene, something like that. So it's 4 years later. Baby Franklin. He's 4 now. Or is he 5? I don't know. 4 or 5. One of the two. I started losing track of timelines. Anyways, he's a kid now. He's not a baby. And Sue is looking for Franklin's favorite book. And when she comes back to Franklin, who was previously sitting on the couch, Franklin is now playing with a hooded figure that we don't see. The hooded figure is holding some sort of mask. Then the card pops up saying that Fantastic Four will return in Avengers Doomsday. Yay. So again, not familiar with the lore, guys, okay? I'm a casual MCU fan. I haven't read the comics, I haven't done any of that, so I'm a little confused. But I'm assuming that this post-credit scene sets up our Doomsday situation. Was the hooded figure Doctor Doom? Because I know that he's a character. That much I know. Or is the hooded figure someone else entirely? Guys, I don't know. So, I'm counting on you guys to let me know in the comments down below whether I am right or wrong or anything about any of this. But I feel like it's setting up Avengers Doomsday, especially because the title card's like, they'll return in Avengers Doomsday. And I'm like, okay, so that's what we're setting up now. Okay. Or is this going to be like a Thunderbolts Fantastic Four situation where it literally means nothing? That's also a possibility now. But I did say I wanted to talk about 3 things. And so now we have the third thing, which is a fun bit that I almost missed while fast forwarding the credits. So when watching at home, I tend to like fast forward through the credits because I'm like, okay, like they're long, and I appreciate all the people that are involved in the production and everything, making this film that I just watched into what it actually is. They're long, and I want to skip. So, I went fast forwarding through the credits slowly because I was like, I don't want to miss the post-credit scenes. And luckily I happened to rewind enough to get this little fun moment. So we got a Jack Kirby quote. At least I'm assuming that it's a Jack Kirby quote. It says that it is, but, you know, again, I'm not well versed in the lore. I know who Jack Kirby is. Like, that much I know. But basically the quote is, if you look at my characters, you will find me. No matter what kind of character you create or assume, a little of yourself must remain there. And then we get 828, right? Like the Earth that we just spent an entire movie on. Like an Earth we were trying to move to another part of the universe. Yeah, 828. And then it changes to 8/28, aka August 28th, which is Jack Kirby's birthday. And I think that was a cute little touch. And it's like, oh, like Jack Kirby was such a, like, prominent, like, figure within the Fantastic Four universe. Like I said, guys, I went down a rabbit hole, okay? And like, just, like, using 828 as the Earth to, you know, pay homage to Jack Kirby and his birthday being August 28th, aka 8/28, 8/28. I love that, and that was a fun little bit. It was like, all right, here, we're going to spell it out for you, like you're 5, and honestly, in many ways, I need that. I need things spelled out for me like I'm 5. Especially when dealing with Marvel lore. But I don't know, I really love that. And now I'm sitting there wondering if every time I fast forwarded through the end credits, whether I missed something like this. I doubt it. But now I feel like, did I? I don't know. But I don't know. I thought this was a really cute touch. A fun way to pay homage to Jack Kirby, who was such a prominent figure within the Fantastic Four creation. And yeah, I loved that. So again, I really enjoyed this movie. There were a few things that were a little bit slow at times, but I really enjoyed it. And it got me hyped to see Fantastic Four as a team again. Not sure how long we have until Avengers Doomsday, because I'm assuming that's the next movie they're showing up in, that they're not going to show up beforehand, because I feel like we would have gotten some other title in there. But Avengers Doomsday is coming. I don't know when, because I can't keep track of Marvel dates anymore. But it's coming, and hopefully they will make it out of Avengers Doomsday so that we can see more of them, because I don't know, I really like this cast. I like these characters. They're fun, and I want to see more. But Avengers Doomsday, I'm hearing it's big. And last time we had big, we had Infinity War and Endgame, and I'm like, not everybody made it out of that movie alive, so here's hoping the Fantastic Four make it out of Doomsday alive. Yeah, but that's my thoughts on Fantastic Four First Steps. But let me know, what did you think of the movie? Did you like it? Did you not? Like, what parts worked and what parts didn't? Like, I'm really curious to hear everybody's thoughts, especially people that are, like, huge fans of the Fantastic Four. Like, did this live up to the hype? Because, like I said, I have, like, no context for Fantastic Four. Like, I've seen the previous movies, at least bits and pieces of it, and that's about the extent of my Fantastic Four knowledge. But I enjoyed this movie a lot more than I did those ones. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to hear what everyone's thoughts are in the comments down below.